I want to talk to the people I call the fish farming students, people who are new into fish farming, who are actually students out of school or still in school and have embarked on fish farming, because they sometimes ask me if fish farming is a good hustle for students. Yes, it's a good hustle, but what you must know is that fish farming is not easy money. It's not easy money because it requires consistency, it requires clean water, it requires proper feeding, and it requires monitoring. These are key things that must be there for your fish farm to do well. If you're a student who is not used to this, then of course it's going to be a problem for you because you're not going to do well. Key thing number one is you start small. Don't be over ambitious. Start with 1,000 fishes, 3 tarpaulin tanks, and no concrete ponds. So when you start with, let's say, 200 to 400 juveniles, start with 1 or 2 tarpaulin tanks, then you do your 4-month cycle. Okay, so it helps you understand, it helps you learn. But remember, like I said, consistency, proper feeding, and monitoring are key things that you must do. So let's learn about it in a stratified way. That's how any learner learns. Anybody who is used to disappearing during school periods will not be a good fish farmer because you need to be there. Another thing you need to take care of is that always remember that 60 to 70% of your budget is for feeding. Okay, how much feed you need to give per stage, how to avoid overfeeding, how to switch from one type of food to the other. You need to go and ask questions. You need to reduce your waste in feeding. Sometimes fish farmers think, or young fish farmers think, that fish eat like human beings, so they take a chunk of food and dump inside the water. No, there's a way to feed fish. You watch them, you watch their reaction, you watch their feeding, and over a time you identify a pattern, and that pattern helps you manage your food. If you keep dumping too much food, it goes waste, rots in the water, and increases your ammonia content of the water. So always remember, feeding 60 to 70%, but you must be able to manage it. Avoid buying cheap fingerlings. Some people say cheap fingerlings. What's the problem with cheap fingerlings? Slow growth. They are not genetically sound, so the people are looking for where to offload them. They have high mortality rates. Okay, and then if you don't sort them well, of course, the issues of cannibalism occurs. Sometimes you spend so much trying to get them to peak performance, you're spending on medications, you're spending on other things to try and get your fish come up to stage. Go to a reputable hatchery and you will find good fish to buy, genetically sound and very good quality, depending on what you want to really do. But always make sure you don't buy from all those people who advertise that, oh, I have fish, come and buy, and then the prices are very, very cheap. Then you need to make sure that your routine is very, very tight. Okay, feed morning and evening, you remove leftover feed, you observe the fish behavior, change water properly, and sort your fish on time. That's what you need to do, and it's consistency. That's why I said, if you're a student who is used to disappearing during school and appearing later on, if you do that with your fish farm, sorry for you, it's going to be a disaster. Those are things. You don't need big capital, you don't need huge amounts of money to set up a fish farm. The average setup would maybe be between 150 to 200 or 500k. Okay, you start with 1 tarpaulin tank or two tarpaulin tanks, 300 to 400 fishes, and you do a clean 3 to 4 months cycle, and then you learn a lot from that process. You do it yourself. There's nothing bad in doing it yourself and learning, because that's the learning curve that you need. So you do it yourself, you manage your fish yourself, you sort your fish yourself, you change water. So you should be able to do that. At the end of the day, I can assure you that you will get your profit out of it if you do that. So please avoid starting too big. Avoid starting with imported food. Avoid overfeeding. Avoid not sorting your fish. Avoid not changing your water. Avoid buying cheap fingerlings, because that's your stock. Cheap fingerlings can kill you. Okay, then avoid leaving your fish unattended during your exam period. Find somebody to take care of it when you have exams or you're not going to be around. Let the person give you a feedback of what they see, and more especially, do not spend that money on building a concrete pond too early. Those mistakes kills fish farming. Thank you.